Okay, so if you missed class today, we had gone over Grammar Unit 1, Exercise 2, the be verbs, sentences 3, 4, and 5. So make sure you have your orange handout because the sentence patterns that are on there are going to be useful, as well as the sentence analysis process and the prepositions list. All right, so let's go through sentence 3. The excitement of the fans is really contagious. So is your verb. When we look at our sentence, a third step is to identify the prepositions. So of is a preposition, and if you look on your handout, there's a little footnote next to of. Oops, you can't see that. A little footnote, and it says check the form for compound, in other words, 2 or more prepositions. So you may notice on account of, on behalf of. So if we look to the left of, the excitement isn't any of those kind of compound words, so it's not a compound or more than one word preposition. So preposition, and so we want to circle it if it's a prepositional phrase. So of what? Of the fans. So we're going to circle that prepositional phrase. So then we want to draw lines to the left and to the right of our verb, okay, to separate it, and then we want to go from the left to the right and identify form and function. So remember, all that we're grouping together are prepositional phrases and noun phrases. So anything else you want to treat as a single word. So the excitement we can group, that's a noun phrase. So we want to put noun phrase 1. Of the fans, we said is a prepositional phrase. You can write prepositional phrase if you really want to, but you don't have to as long as you've circled it, and all you're circling right now are the prepositional phrases. Then to the right of our verb and our predicate, we have really and we have contagious. So I'm going to split those up because those don't really belong together. It's not a phrase. So when we look at this, really ends in an ly, which is one good indicator, not always, but it's a good indicator that you probably have an adverb. And then contagious fits into our test frame for adjectives. So the blank person is blank, the contagious person is contagious, so that's an adjective. And so when we think about our questions, right, really is telling us how contagious. So that kind of confirms that we do have an adverb there. So then function-wise, the excitement of the fans is really contagious. If we're looking at our sentence patterns, we need a subject, be verb, and then we have to decide adverb of time or place, or do we have a subject complement? So the excitement is our subject, is our be verb, really is an adverb in form and an adverb in function, and then contagious is what we're doing here. We're describing the excitement as contagious. Right? We're not locating it in the time or place of really. That doesn't make sense. So we know it's not an adverb of time or place, even though we have an adverb in our predicate. Okay, the important thing is the description here, our subject complement. So don't forget, if you've circled a prepositional phrase, you want to draw that arrow to determine what it modifies. So of the fans is telling us what kind of excitement we have here. And so again, if you really wanted to fill it in, since it's modifying a noun, that makes it function as an adjective. But you don't have to put that in there. If you just circle of the fans and draw an arrow to excitement, which is the head word of that noun phrase, then you're good to go. So sentence pattern wise, the excitement of the fans is really contagious. We have a noun phrase subject, be verb, and an adjective subject complement. That's pattern 2. All right, brevity is the soul of wit. So is our verb. We have one preposition of what? Of wit. So when we look at our sentence form wise, brevity is a noun, so we're going to write noun phrase even though it's one word, and that's just a heated symbol in our slot. Pronouns we're going to write as noun phrase too. And then the soul to the right of our verb, that's a noun phrase. So brevity and soul are the same thing that we're referring to, which is why sentence pattern 3 here, noun phrase 1, noun phrase 1. Okay, later on we'll talk about noun phrase 2, noun phrase 3, but for right now we're really just all going to have noun phrase 1s. Okay, so that takes care of the form row. So function-wise, we have subject, right? What are we describing, or in this case, defining? It's brevity. And then how are we describing or defining it? Brevity equals the soul. So that's our subject complement. And then of wit, what kind of soul? right? Or in this case, whose soul, right? So brevity is wit's soul. That's another way of kind of stating that same concept without using that preposition, okay? So, and that would make that an adjective prepositional phrase. So this is sentence pattern 3, because we have that noun phrase, subject complement. Okay. All right, number 5, the final exam was at 4 o'clock. So was is our verb. We do have one preposition, at. At what? At 4 o'clock. Draw our lines. To the left of our verb, the final exam, noun phrase 1. To the right of our verb, we have a prepositional phrase, and we've already circled it. So when we look at our function, subject, be verb, and then at 4 o'clock is locating the exam in time or space. And so that is the adverb of time or place there. So you could certainly write prep phrase, adverb of time or place, or you can just draw your arrow to your verb, since adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. In this case, it's modifying that verb, and identify it as pattern 1.